Hello everyone, and welcome to a different style of video than usual. Today, we are going to be taking a look at the new pack that just released and seeing what came to Master Duel, and more importantly, what came to the NR format. As you know, I play that format very often, even more than regular Master Duel sometimes, and so I'm curious what we can make of new cards. So, without further ado, let's get into it. My bet has always been that KASHTIRA Ogre would be in the NR format, as well as Scareclaw KASHTIRA, and we are not getting Scareclaw and Telemans KASHTIRA yet, so I'm looking for Ogre to prove me right. It appears okay then. Fenrir Unicorn, I do not see KASHTIRA Ogre, which is confident for me, and down here we scroll past, there's not many SRs and URs honestly, and we get to the good stuff. We have KASHTIRA Ogre front and center, and we did get a KASHTIRA trap, KASHTIRA preparations, which is decent to search with Ogre. I could see it seeing play, or just seeing Ogre be a very good free 7, because it is a very good free 7. Then we have, oh my gosh, we got the Chaos cards. We got Chaos Beast, Shell, and Core of Chaos. These cards, I've played sealed with them, are very strong, and they can be used multiple times over to make Chaos Beast and other synchros. Celestial Apparatus Tessia is not anything special. I don't even know if we have a way to summon an adventure token, because Curse of Erematir is an SR. So then we've got Amaze Attraction, Thrill Train. I don't know anything about amazements, but from what I can tell, if you equip it to your opponent's monster, oh, it just banishes it. Interesting. Then Dragonic Pendulum. We got some Draco Slayer stuff. I don't believe we got any of the actual new Draco Slayer monsters. And nope, it does not appear like we did. The Great Noodle Inversion. Add the bottom card of your deck to your hand, then take one card from your deck, shuffle it, and place it on the bottom of the deck. So it's just draw a card, but draw a specific card. I'd play it over Jar of Greed. That's funny. That's very funny to me. Alpha Summon. Target one of your banished monsters and one of your opponent's banished monsters. Special summon your monster to their field and their monster to your field. I could see that seeing play if you are up against something like, what is it? Maybe Tenyies or Tri-Brigade? That could come up. Sweet Roommate is almost not going to happen unless you're playing against Mill, or if you're playing Mill, which actually I could see that being a tech for Mill. Red Arrows is decent for Link matchups, although everyone plays Links to a certain extent. Then we have Turbo Tainted Hot Rod G19, which I don't know how this one works. So it flips up, and then after it's flipped up, you can synchro, and you can declare its levels and all that. You can target a face-up monster on the field, either field, so you can synchro using your opponent's monsters, Super Poly style. And I don't know if you can do this immediately after it flips up in a battle, because if you can, then you could just play this as a really cool absorbing wall. Mental Tuner is interesting. It could be used with the Chaos things, the Chaos cards. Sage of Wisdom Himmel and Sage of Strength Akash are not as useful, but they are pretty interesting in terms of what Sky Strikers we have, because we have two Sky Striker links. We have Hayate the Wind and Kagani, I believe, the Earth. We have the Wind and the Earth, which neither of them are insane, but they're both really interesting, and to have more Sky Striker cards can allow that deck, I'm doing air quotes, to be more of a cohesive strategy rather than just a glorified engine. Now, Pit Knight early is what's really interesting to me, because you can set it up on your opponent's monster, sort of. Because then you can negate your opponent's monster's effects, change it to 0, and during the end phase you can revive it. So it's almost like Codebreaker Virus Swordsman. I don't see it doing a terrible amount unless you're going second, in which case then you've got other things to deal with. I don't know. I'm not terribly impressed with this card, but it's interesting. And it is a Cybers, which is important to note. It's a reviving Cybers link, as opposed to a reviving Warrior link that Codebreaker is. Meteor Rush Monocroid is a very fun card. I pulled this card opening Photon Hypernova in the TCG, and it's not very good, but it is very funny. If you want to play it, then I recommend playing multi-attackers, because then you can quickly build up 5 or more attacks, and if you can do something like that, then you can summon this card out, push for game with 5,000 attack, which is crazy. Now, we did not get a terrible amount, and if I'm not forgetting anything, that's about it. So, with that being said, I'm not confident these are going to do anything for the format. KASHTIRA Ogre is going to replace Loyal Guanyin, the Ancient Warriors, for a 7 extender in any deck that would play it. Most of the time it does have an actually good effect. This one does too. Then the Shell and Core of Chaos allow the Chaos strategy to actually be supplemented with Chaos Beast, which is really good. It's really cool to see older strategies getting support, which is pretty much what just happened in the NR format. Then Meteor Crush Monocroid, I'm not expecting anything from that. Celestial Apparatus Tessia, I'm not expecting anything from that. The Draco Slayer Field Spell, I don't know where that stands, because I don't know what Draco Slayers we actually have. Draco Slayer in olden times of the format would be an overly dominant card set with floodgates that existed at the time. So I don't know if this could boot the deck back up to playability, because currently it's not seeing any play. It's not even tiered on the official tier list. So we'll just have to see with Dragonic Pendulum. Mental Tuner is just a card. This one, I don't know exactly how it works, but it seems very funny, and I love very funny, so maybe play it in flip control decks, which I could very see. It's even a tuner. Pit Knight early, I'm not expecting too much of, except in Cyber's builds, because it is a pretty good Link 2. Alpha Summon is an interesting swapping card. I could see it for certain matchups. Sweet Roommate I could actually kind of see in mill decks, although you're the one sending, so your opponent wouldn't always have as many graveyard cards. Red Arrow is for Link matchups. The Great Noodle Inversion is just funnier Jar of Greed, and as such, I will be playing it. KASHTIRA Preparations could be interesting with KASHTIRA Ogre. And the Sky Striker cards, in short, bolster the strategy. It makes it possible to play a Sky Striker deck. Triple of everything, get some spells, and you're off to the races making 1500 attack direct attackers. And then finally, Leela Wrap. Once per turn, if you special summon a monster from the graveyard, you can make your opponent lose 1,000, and if they do, you gain 500. This card seems very bad. I mean, I suppose it could be useful for something. I don't really know what. Maybe Dragon Maid could use it. Maybe, I don't know. It just seems very weak. It's just a once per turn max 1,000 life point loss, which is something, I suppose. You could use things like the Water of the Dragon Souls or the revival card, the Wormtide Call of the Haunted, to trigger this on your opponent's turn and burn them for 2,000. I don't know. I'm not impressed. But anyway, with that being said, I'm excited to see what the NR format people can get to brewing. Let's get that jank flowing, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.